Hello, welcome again to Berkshire Guitar Amplifier Repairs here in Reading, England, where it's just started raining after nearly 4 weeks of not a single drop. So we're out there dancing at the moment. I've got a Fender Mustang 2 amp on the bench, not one I've seen before. Transistor amp, obviously, semiconductors. No valves, and fairly modern, interesting amp. Got lots of switchable effects on the top. Not very expensive either, so a nice little practice amp. The customer said he hadn't used it for a little while, then he plugged it in, it came on okay, but not a peep out of the speaker, so I don't know what's gone on there. Anyway, let's get the thing powered up and see what it's doing. Okay, the amp seems to power up alright. And the interesting thing is I can hear that the amp is working fine. I can hear the hum. When I dial in these different things here, we're getting all the effects you can hear coming in here, the phase and things, and the power amp is working fine. But when you plug something into it, there's absolutely nothing coming out of it. Give the jack socket a wriggle. So whatever's wrong with this amp, it's very, very early on. I might suspect actually an input jack issue. The problem with the amps like this, and I haven't taken it to bits yet, is that I don't know what horror story I'm going to find under here. Is it just one big surface mount board with, you know, microchips all over the thing? It'll have a load of microchips on for all these effects. Are we going to be able to do anything on the front end? Is it surface mount op amps and whatever? So I'm not hopeful about fixing it. But anyway, we'll take it to bits and have a little look inside. See if we get lucky. I think it's just a hope for luck on this one. Well, here we are inside, and as you can see, not particularly repairable. Lots of surface mount components on there. This, I'm guessing, is the switch mode power supply, which is a shame. Hate those things. But the good news is that down here is a little subboard for the input jacks, just plugged in by this little socket here. So that's great news. We can just take that out and see if there's anything wrong on this board. It could just be a dry joint on the input jack socket. Wouldn't that be nice? Anyway, let's whip that out and have a look. And I hope you can see that break there between the solder joint and the track. I will zoom out now and just show you that with the there it is there. So it's just that track is broken just where it joins that solder joint there. There's a little hairline crack across there. That happens, by the way, plugging in and out the jack. It just very slightly flexes the jack socket and can break that connection. So this is very good news. We're going to be able to rescue this amplifier. I'm literally just going to make a connection between there and there with a piece of wire, and we can pop this back in, and I'm hoping it will all work. There's the short wire link that I've just prepared, and I will just pop it into there like that, and we can then get the board back in. I don't know if you can see that bottom right, well, second in from the left along the bottom, that connection there is dry joint as well. So we're going to go over all of the joints on these input jacks. It's always a good thing to do if ever you have access like this, go over all the joints. So that joint there is completely dry. So I'm going to go over all of these joints. Right, so now we can pop the board back in. I think I'll plug it in first, might make life a bit easier. There we go. Plugged in. Put it in there, and then we'll put on a couple of nuts here on the other side. I'm hoping that this will work. I'll do those up later, but for the moment we'll just make them finger tight. And I think we'll give it a test. Just put that other nut on. And yeah, I think we'll plug that in and give it a go. Lots of hum, that's good. Sounding promising. Oh yeah. It's got some great effects, this amp. A lot of reverb on there at the moment. You can dial in a lot of effects on the top. You know, it's quite a low cost amp, but it's a lot of amp for your money, this. Great, well that's fantastic news. I will get the back on and must remember to do up those two nuts. This is actually quite a nice little amp, you know. You could dial in all these tones like 60, you know, whether it sounds like the thing or not I don't know, but 65 twin reverb, and British 60s, British 80s, American 90s, supersonic, metal, you know, for what it is, it actually sounds great as well. So if you're looking for a little you know, home amp to jam around on, got loads of effects, loads of settings, and sounds really good. I like this amp. Well, there you go. I wish they all went like that. Well, maybe it would be a bit boring, but it is very nice to be able to rescue an amp like this from landfill, because if something goes wrong in a major way with these amps, like with the switch mode power supply or with one of the surface mount multi-chip components, it's very hard to fix and not many people will take them on. So although these amps are fairly low cost to buy and great when they work, when they go wrong, I'm afraid they're just contributing to landfill and people end up throwing them away. So I'm pleased to give this one another lease of life, and I'm sure it will be good for many more years to come. Well, that's it from me. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.